morning, guys. Morning, TJ. Morning, Nick. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you all had a nice Wednesday yesterday. How's it, Nick Rourke? How you boys doing? Hope we all doing good. Just gonna wait a couple of minutes and then we can get into normal proceedings, boys. How's it, Antonio? How are you doing? Sorry guys, I haven't actually been using those other liquidity providers or, to be honest, the dollar index at all since the beginning of this year, so I'm just going to remove that off my watch list. Looks pretty slow again. Markets, to be honest. Had some nice moves yesterday. Caught 3 good GJ sells, guys. So I had a really good entry yesterday. I didn't really trade much in the morning or in the afternoon, but towards late afternoon, evening, took 3 entries, and yeah, I actually haven't posted them yet on Instagram, but I will do. Let me actually post that quickly while I wait for everyone. All nice holds as well. Bonnie Alessandra, how are you? 4 trades yesterday, 3 winning trades, 1 losing trade. Going up on the Instagram if you guys want to check that out quickly. There we go. Psychomath again. Unfortunate, Nick. Okay, guys. Let's do a breakdown quickly of GJ. I kind of have done a little bit already, but I'll reset the chart, remove the drawings, and then we can go from scratch. From the weekly, we can basically take a look at the weekly and see, okay, for Thursday and Friday, what are we going to be looking at? You can see our market structure on the weekly is still bearish. So we still have the bearish candle. I'll still be interested to see if we can get down to this weekly level, if we can then carry on, maybe fill this weekly wick, and then next week maybe wick up and then continue bearish. So I'm still looking for that bearish move. It does look like we are more or less respecting this daily support level that we're on at the moment. We haven't quite broken through it, so definitely something we need to take into consideration. Still bullish in market structure on the daily, guys. Remember, that's our high point which created it. Have not exceeded that point yet. So at the moment, the only thing concerning me or stopping me from taking some very long-term sells is this daily support level that we're on currently. We obviously need to break through this daily support level, and then once we don't respect that support, we should be able to come down to at least the support level over here. That's what I'll be looking for on the daily time frame. Obviously, to get some nice optimal entries, we can look on the lower time frames. So at the moment, we're basically respecting that level. If we drop down to the 4-hour time frame, you can see now we're obviously going to have some more support levels to worry about, some 4-hour supports. This is probably our strongest one at the moment. It's holding decently strong. It's been respected a couple of times. We've tapped into it about 3 times, and each time it's held pretty well. So we do need to get below that support level if you want to think of any possible further moves, at least down to about this 155 flat. I will be quite interested in getting down to that level. If we look at 4-hour resistance, that's our resistance right now. So at the moment, again, we are still ranging on the 4-hour. Hello, Sharif, how are you doing? You can see at the moment, we're basically just doing this on the 4-hour. So either we're going to continue ranging on the 4-hour and respect the resistance levels and respect the support levels, or we're going to break above the resistance and make that move, or we're going to eventually come back down, break below this support level and make that move. So we just need to wait for possibly a higher time frame confirmation, and that's going to come with the 4-hour or the 1-hour. It just depends, really. Sorry, guys. Okay. Now, obviously, structure on the 4-hour at the moment is currently, this was our low created by here. So we're currently still bullish on the 4 hour. This was our low on the 4 hour. We have not got a candle close below that point at the moment. So at the moment our weekly is bearish, daily is bullish, 4 hours bullish. And then I think on the 30-minute time frame we may also be bullish now. I will check it out. Obviously now that we've got our zones marked out on the 4 hour, so we've got our resistance level, we've got our support level, we can look for some more aggressive areas within this range to take some possible sells or some buys above this 4 hour resistance level. So we're going to drop down to a 30-minute, identify structure. If this is our low over here created by this leg, we need a candle close above here to flip structure bullish. We got that over here. Now what created this high? It would be this 2 candle pullback down here. So we are currently bullish until we get below this area. So at the moment we do have a 3v1 bullish market structure, with our only current structure being the weekly candle, which is bearish. So we do need to obviously be a little bit wary about that. I still do think though, if we are respecting a 4 hour range level, we can find some sells within this. I managed to find some really nice sells yesterday, even with the 3v1 bullish market structure. It was just basically buying at a selling at a very high price, which is always ideal. If we're going to look for some easier zones to trade into, or some zones which could come up sooner than this 155 430 level, I'll be marking out that support level. Reason being, if we close below the support level, we got the clean candles to the left, all these over here. So that should be pretty straightforward sells, especially if we don't respect that support level. It will be slightly counter trend. Obviously, we don't have the market structure on our side, but sometimes if you are in a 4 hour range like this, and based on the much higher time frames, it looks like we could continue bearish, especially because now we have broken last week's weekly low, guys. Very important to realize. So going to be looking at that possibly to take some sells below this 155.845 level, especially with London Open coming up in 5 minutes. So buys, the problem with where our current 4 hour resistance level, guys, is, which is right here. If we go back to the 4 hour, you can see that this is our 4 hour resistance. The reason why we can't take buys above this level and would probably have to wait till this level is because if we break above this resistance level, where's our next resistance? It's right here. So we don't have the trading range. So what you do in those situations is, if this was our initial zone, which we had marked out, or our initial resistance, we're going to need to shift that up. So if we shift it up to this resistance, if we break through this resistance and we look left, we have resistance right here. So then we shift it up again. And now we at this resistance. If we look left, what do we see? Clean candles, and we follow that up, and this is our previous resistance above this resistance level. So this is enough trading range, classified as clean candles. So I'd be looking for buys above that level. That would also be a break of that 4 hour range that we have and the 4 hour resistance. So again, plays into each other. Trey, how are you doing? Welcome. Sells. This is a pretty strong level again that we're on, guys. And if we look left, we do obviously have choppy price action once we get below this area. So what I'll be looking at is confirmation on the much higher time frame, so the 4 hour time frame, because we saw on the 4 hour we did have obviously the clean candles. So if you're going to base a trade on the 4 hour time frame, you need to wait for 4 hour candle closes. So at the moment, looking for potential sells below this level, and I would say looking for potential buys above this level. So I hope that makes sense. Again, guys, these sells are counter trend, but I do believe that if we do finally get some London volume, we could see some very nice sells. It's also at a really nice price. You know, we're not selling down here. We've waited for price to create a high, not respect the support level. If we get the support, the candle close below the support level, it's also a nice strong bearish candle. These are those catalyst candles I was talking about, where the pre-London candle indicates where London could head, or the direction London could head. So if we get a nice strong candle close below this level, I will be more than happy to wait for the next candle to wick up, retest the support, and then break the low of this candle and continue bearish. That's what I'll be hopefully trying to get. If we do respect this support level though, again, that could just indicate that we're going to start moving bullish and move with the overall market structure. We have 3 minutes. So I'll do gold after London Open, Nick, if that's all right. If it doesn't wake up, might just go with the risky entry, and sometimes you just gotta go with it. Again, if you're gonna take those, I would I would lower my lot size for sure. So if we get the perfect candle close, so even below this level or below this level, and the next candle doesn't wake up and it just goes, that's where you need to make that judgment call of, is this going to be a riskier trade? So obviously it is going to be a riskier trade, and do I want to be involved in it? And that's when I would normally lower my lot size. But because of London open volume, I generally take that trade. It does look like we are rejecting the support level though, which is pretty important to note, especially because we are in the uptrend. So just gonna wait for this, and then we can see what London's gonna do. Quickly check this chart out here from Alessandro. Did I click? Oh, I must have clicked on the wrong thing. Trades from yesterday. Yeah, these. Yeah, so it took that entry there. Took the entry based on the 4 hours. So let me show you on the 4 hour. I took this entry over here. So you can see this candle respected the previous 4 hour high. We then had clean 4 hour candles to the left, and we then closed below this 4 hour candle low. And then I took the sells from this point over here and then held it for a little while. Came down to the lows. Because there's a good chance, like I said guys, whenever we create lows, to retest the lows. And on the higher time frames, it makes a lot more sense. Not the greatest candle close, but I suppose what this rejection is telling us that we could start moving back up again and maybe come up to this area, if not continue more. That's the easiest trade of the day by far, guys, was this first entry here. So it was an impulse entry, but it made a lot of sense on the 4 hour time frame as well. And then I took a losing trade on gold, but managed it really well. It's been a really good risk management week. Yeah, well, there was a fake out on the 4 hour because this is the 4 hour range which we had. This one popped out. This one closed straight back in the range, which is why I knew we were also going to retest the bottom of the range. Because we had about 20, it was about 22 or so pips. Yeah, 22 pips to trade into, which is more than enough. Got about 16 seconds. Not the greatest close. Yeah, that could indicate that obviously we are respecting the 30-minute support level. Let's see what we're looking like on the 1 hour. Okay, so a reason why I'd also be quite interested in taking a sell here based on the 1 hour is because obviously we've now made this push up. We've now formed some resistance, strong 1 hour resistance, and we've respected the high of the previous 1 hour candle. So now obviously if we get that wick up and then break the low of this 1 hour candle, it could be a strong indicator that now we could, with the clean candles to the left, retest this level. If not, this could then, if we're going to continue bullish, this could be our pause candle, and then we could just continue up. But we're obviously at a pretty strong level. We got some 1 hour resistance over here. We're stuck in a 4 hour range, so again, very, very risky. Just going to wait and see how this plays out. I would be quite interested in taking some sells if we do come below probably 155.822, around there. Just going to wait and see though. There's counter trend though, guys, so that's my only concern. and London volume has been shocking recently. So let's see what happens. By the time we get down to this point, we would have moved from candle open only about 5 pips. Stop loss is going to be based above this candle, which will also be the new 1 hour candle, obviously. And then just going to anticipate that bearish continuation down. It's probably... Let me see what we have on the 1 hour here. Yeah, I'd say maybe here. 155, 6, 7, 7. Stop loss above the current candle. Just gonna wait. Obviously, I do talk about it quite a lot, guys. A clear break. So we do want to see a clear break of. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good level. So just gonna wait and see. Looking decently good on the 1 hour. If we had continued a little bit there. This is quite far below the 1 hour. 2 pips, it's alright. If you guys have any charts or anything like that, please send them through. I haven't seen any. Normally we have quite a lot there in the Telegram. I haven't seen any come through yet though. Anybody try London breakout strategy? I can't say I have. Might need to explain that one to me. Strong bullish push on gold yesterday, guys. I don't know if any of you did manage to catch any of the buys. I tried to take some buys like quite early on in the morning, like just after I woken up. This was yesterday, not today. And just, yeah, I didn't manage risk, obviously didn't work out. But later on in the day, we had an amazing push. Got something here from Sharif. You may need to, oh no, you're doing this on MetaTrader, I think though. Or are you on trade? Oh, if you're on TradingView, Sharif, can you send the link? Mark up support and resistance from the Asian range and then trade up or down once London opens. Sounds a bit risky. Because then I suppose you're not really basing it on current candle formations or things like that. For some reason, Sharif, it won't let me. I can try, but I don't think it's gonna let me paste this. Oh, sorry, that is not the right thing. If I go to charts. It's gonna say, yeah, invalid chart. Can you just copy the whole link and send that in the Telegram? I don't know why it does that. News-wise today, guys, we don't have much news coming up that's going to affect if you trade the pound yen. But if you do trade the dollar, then you are going to need to be aware of these unemployment claims coming in later, and then some medium impact news as well. Nothing too serious. Okay, thanks, Sharif. Perfect. Got that resistance area. I think that it's going to be quite important to get above that 156 area, and then I would suggest that I'd say look for some, yeah, mark this out as your 4-hour support level, and then anything in between here is obviously part of our 4-hour range, but I certainly do think we can get some entries within this range for sure if we start forming some support, breaking that support, so like we've done on the 30-minute time frame. But we do need to break that support level. But I do like that you have this 4-hour resistance level marked out. So thank you. Just use price action to watch and see where it goes and trade accordingly. Suppose so. Looks like London's made its mind up, or trying to. Shocking London Open again, to be honest with you guys. Haven't had a good one in who knows how long. Okay, in the meanwhile, I am going to obviously be keeping an eye out on GJ, but let me do a quick gold breakdown for you guys. Obviously, we had an extremely strong bullish push yesterday on gold, so if anyone did catch this move, well done. It was also, if you look at how the monthly candle is forming, we had this monthly resistance level over here. We then have got the strongest monthly body candle close that we have had in a long time in December. So now that the January candle has opened, this is almost like your type B for any of the members on a monthly on the monthly time frame, basically. So obviously it's a lot different, but what we had was a candle close above resistance level. Well, our highest candle close. So again, that's if you aggressive marking. Obviously, if you marking the tops of the wicks there, it's not. But then this next candle wick down. So basically retested this whole area and then pushed bullish. So based on the monthly time frame, that would have made a lot of sense. Obviously, basing a trade on monthly time frame isn't very common. I mean, me personally have never done it. Sorry, just keeping an eye out. Daily, the weekly, you can see we clearly broke last week's weekly high, and we also broke that resistance level that I was speaking about on Monday and Tuesday about gold. If we want to see it break out of, basically we had a bit of a daily range established at these levels. So we had daily support at this level, weekly resistance. If we drop down to daily, you'll see that. So here's our daily support. It was a bit higher, and we had daily resistance at this level. So we were ranging a little bit on the daily, and then we broke out of that pretty easily, which is good to see, because now I do see us possibly, we may come down and retest this zone, but then we should be able to maybe come up towards this resistance level over here. But now that we've made such a strong push, there's a good chance that we can come down, maybe play around in this area, or even retest this daily support level and then continue back up. You can see here we are creating the higher lows quite regularly, so we could just end up doing that again. So that'll be your pullback, create some support at that level, and then have a strong bullish impulse movement, similar to what we had yesterday. It's been happening quite a lot recently, so something to look out for. Our market structure on all time frames now is bullish, especially after such a strong push yesterday. Still keep your eye out on GJ. So yeah, I would obviously be expecting some form of a correction after such a strong move. So trading with the trend in this situation is going to be a little bit different, because you can't just keep on bullish forever. So after such a strong move, you would expect some form of bearish correction. So that's going to be for most of this move that we had up. We could end up coming down and correcting some of it. Other than that, I'll just be waiting to buy at some better prices to retest the highs. That's going to be a really good option. You can see on the 4-hour, if we break above now this 4-hour resistance level, we can probably retest this 4-hour resistance level. But if you do want to buy gold, what I suggest is wait for it to form some of that correction, come down a little bit. If we look on the lower time frames, it's so much clean traffic. We had such a strong bullish push that if we do start coming down, we can certainly maintain the bullish market structure and come down to these levels again. This is going to be your daily level, where if we form support on this daily level, then we can start moving bullish again. So that's going to be our higher low on the daily. So even if we have a bearish daily candle or a couple of bearish daily candles, that's your pullback for an eventual move. Then you want to wait for your daily support to form. And then once your daily support is formed, then you can expect that retest of the high and then creating of the new highs. So that's going to be pretty similar to this. So you had your high pullback, which happened with one bearish candle. And then you can see we formed some support, retest of that high at this resistance level, respected resistance level, came back down, retested the high, very similar, came back down, created a new high. So that's just looking at it on the higher time frames, but obviously you want to try and look for some entries on the lower time frames. I think that pretty good buys are going to come above this resistance level, and I would say risky sells below this level, but obviously we had such a high price right now, price is more than likely to correct at some stage, I would think. So I'd say, although it is very counter trend sells, if you do get the sort of candle setup where you don't respect this 1 hour support level and you get a candle close below here, there's very clean price action to the left, very clean candles. So in that, if you look at it, looking at it that way, it does make quite a bit of sense. So I'd say risky sells below 1838.26 and buy continuations above 1 or 1843.73, because at the moment we are ranging. You look on the 30-minute ranging, 1 hour ranging. So just be aware of that. GJ is terrible again. About a minute. We might form some 15-minute support, but it's not going to be great. I think maybe give it till the end of the month, guys, with London Open. Maybe, I mean, we got 10 days till the end of the month. We might have another bad 10 days of London Open and just have to stick with New York, trading New York or after New York, because London has not really provided the greatest. It hasn't been very accommodating recently. Asian's a session which I never do trade, but I mean, I would say 80% of the year, Asian is not the most. It doesn't provide the most volume, so I haven't really ever been enticed to trade it. London normally does provide a lot of volume. Yeah, very low volume trade. Or just not providing clear setups or clear moves. Whereas if I look at how GJ's been during New York Open or pre-New York, there's been some very nice moves or very, very clear setups. You could kind of establish that the direction that we're going to head, but yeah, it just hasn't been ideal. Will you be streaming New York session on YouTube today? Very possibly. I'm just trying to think. That's going to be probably at about 2:30 my time, so British time. That's going to be about. I'll start at 1:30 British time. Oh no, that's going to be 12:30 British time. So yeah, possibly I will keep you guys updated. Definitely tomorrow though. Tomorrow's a definite New York stream. Got a chart here from Alessandro. Let me check that out. High, low. Good that you're identifying those. We are in uptrending market support. Candle close, break below. Yeah. So the reason that or are you? Did you take a sell here, the counter trend sell, or do you think that that is a retest of the support and now continue bearish? Because I don't think it doesn't look like you took a position at this point. Because now that support has turned into resistance, obviously that does indicate it, but it is only on the 5-minute time frame. So what I need to see is obviously some higher time frame confirmations. I do see what you're talking about here though. 130. That would be nice, obviously, if we do get this retest of this 5-minute low and then continuation down, because then obviously, yeah, like you said, that's going to be our support level, or which once was the support level now turn to resistance level, and then hopefully we can continue. Yeah, I certainly do see potential to continue bearish, especially because we are in this 4-hour range. So now that we've tested the high of the 4-hour range, we've formed some resistance. So if we look at this 4-hour like this, so if this was our original resistance and this was our original support level down here, which is already marked in, I'll mark them in blue just to make them more clear. Just need to check on the 30-minute, we aren't coming down too strong. And then this was our 4-hour fake out, remember? So this is still our range, and we're still respecting the actual range. So basically what it's going to look like at the moment on the line chart is this. So we had our range, fake out of the range, and then now if we just carry on respecting the range, this is what could happen. So I do see definite possibility of us continuing bearish. Morning, Pablo, how are you doing? Take that away. What else wasn't here? That, I think. Please do remember to leave a like on the stream if you haven't already, guys. We did form some weak 15-minute support. As long as we don't break this 15-minute high, I think there's a good chance of seeing that continuation. We don't want to break this high. We want to break this 15-minute low. Took about NAS and close in profits. Well done. Good start to the day. So we are obviously respecting this 30-minute, and also it is a 15-minute support level. But what we want to see, obviously based on the higher time frames, is a break of. I still want to see a break of this 1-hour low. Then I think there's definitely going to be some possibility of getting down to at least this 155.681 level. But we need to break this candle low. Because again, guys, we need to look at the previous candle. So this is basically your pre-London candle. We respected the high of the previous candle, indicating the buyer's pressure is slowly dying out. And look how weak this candle formed. Weak bearish. Weak bullish, indicating that again, low buyer's pressure. Now we are seeing seller's pressure coming into the market. We're pushing down. We had a strong bearish candle close, and now we are going to possibly see a very strong push. So the position at the moment, guys, is going to look something like, well, my position anyway. A bit lower. Just going to manage risk as is. Take that away. Thought it'd be more active in January, not so right now, teams. Yeah, I think February, March, there could be a really nice couple of months coming up. Maybe January, people are still getting into the swing of things. Yeah. Just trying to see if I can have a lesser technical level. It's a bit risky. Remember guys, we also want to manage risk, so if price does start coming towards entry or breaking 5-minute highs, things like that, I will be closing half of my position. And yeah. Do kind of want to see this just go. Obviously it is a little bit of delayed London volume, but I'm hoping we can get down to at least 10 pips. This for me will be 10 pips, so let's see. Let's see. If anyone else in this trade, just be wary of obviously managing risk. We move in stop loss break even when we reach 155.753. 155.753. Yeah, that's a very, very good option. I'd say if you go about 8 to 9 pips up, if you want to play it safe, move your stop loss to break even. What I'll normally do if I go about that many pips up, so let's say 8 or 9, and then price comes back to my entry, I'll close half, just to try and give my trade as much of a possibility, so to still let it run. But I definitely do like that idea of putting your stop loss at break even once you go up a certain amount of pips. This could be, yeah, I just want to see how this 5-minute candle closes. Come on, GJ, yeah. I feel like a few of us are in this trade. Coming back to entry, which definitely isn't ideal. Do have a new 5-minute candle opening in about 5 seconds, so could get that wick up and then continuation. I do like how this has closed pretty strong bearish, but what we can expect is maybe a bit of a wick up and then that push. So if you do see yourselves go up to possibly your entry point, don't panic too much. But if we do see ourselves breaking this previous 5-minute high, then I would start sweating a little bit. I would definitely be closing half of my position at that point. Entered at 814, 814, 814. Okay, so a bit lower than me. I'm coming up to 10 pips very soon, so I'm going to get ready to secure the majority of my position. It's not gonna, I don't think I'm going to hold this for too long. I'll be happy with 10 pips and, well, probably, maybe not call it a day, but definitely not bad start to the day. At this point, if we were to go back to my entry, I would be tempted to close half, but just to manage the risk, because I don't like how this 5-minute candle is now pushed down so much and now flipping, because we are also on a 5. Oh, no, we're not. So Might get a 5-minute retest of this zone over here, guys, and then continue pushing bearish. That's what I am kind of at the moment hoping to see. How this 30-minute candle is closing at the moment also isn't really ideal. You don't want to see it come all the way down to this level, because essentially what we could be doing is just rejecting this level of resistance and basically now gonna continue bullish. So I'm of course a bit wary about that. Back up at my entry at the moment. I haven't closed half yet, but if we do break this 5-minute candle high, we'll be closing half. That will be the first area where I close half, and then so on. Just looking at managing risk as much as possible at this stage. We were going pretty well. Our first London Open trade of the year. Okay, I'll be closing half, guys. If we come up to this level as well, that's going to be where our 30-minute candle flips bullish, and I will be closing another half at that point as well. Yep, anyone who is in and is interested in managing risk, definitely a good area to close half. Where we just went, we did not respect the previous 5-minute candle high, and after making such a strong bearish push and then coming back to our entry, this is definitely a technical level to close half. There's a couple of options here, guys. If price does start coming back down, you can always add that half of the position back to your trade. So basically you adding your risk back onto the board, or you can just let it play out as is and then hopefully still make some profits out of the trade. It's obviously not going to be nearly as much as you would if you had held your full position, if price does eventually go back in our favor. But if you want to, once price comes back down to our entry point, you can again open another half. So basically open your half back. I'm not going to be doing that. I'd rather just look for something later on, cover the loss from that close that I just did and let this run. I mean, it could come down now, but I'm not really wanting to see us close, open another half. How this candle closed, again, we closed on 30-minute support. So yeah, at the moment, I'm just going to I opened the 15 lot, closed 7.5 so far, so I'm going to let the remaining 7.5 just run. And then obviously manage it some more if it starts coming back up. If this 15-minute candle flips bearish, I will be closing, or it's also a new 30-minute candle, I will be closing another half. Five-minute candle close below support. I'm gonna add what I closed earlier. Yeah, for it to maybe continue bearish or complete that bearish move back down, especially based on the 1 hour. My only issue with this is you can see there is a technical reason behind why we reject this area. You can see we've just tapped into this huge area of all these rejection wicks. So that basically, because we're in this uptrend, and again guys, that's why it's so important to trade with the trend. is when you're trading against a trend, there's a lot more areas where you can technically reject that. Whereas if you're trading with the trend, you should not be rejecting at these sorts of areas. Because obviously, because now we have this bullish market structure. Sorry, I'm just checking here to see when we're going to flip bullish. I'm going to end up closing another half. Because we're technically in this overall bullish market structure, this is a counter trend trade. But once you sign up for a counter trend trade, you're signing up for risk management as well. So and again, if we see this candle flip bullish, I will close another half of my position. So there's another half closed. So I'm left with about 3 lots in at the moment. And now I will close another half if we get back up to this level up here. So risked about £1,500. So far have closed a total of 309, and I only have a 3 lot left in. So by the time that this, if it does eventually go, I won't let it get up to this area, this stop loss level, because by that time I'll have such a small lot left in. I think the most I can lose at this stage is probably about 500. So that's about a third of what I had planned out to lose. And again, guys, that is your risk management for you. There's no need to lose what you've set out to lose. What you've set out to lose should be worst case scenario if your phone gets or if you're doing it on your PC. If your PC just shuts down and things just go really wrong, then that is what you should lose. And other than that, you just never should be losing as much as you've set out to lose. Probably close the full position if we come up to break this level. Okay, I'm just closing my full position, guys. So total loss of 419, 420 including commission. Let me see how much this is. Total loss of about £480. So any of those South Africans, that's about 9,000, 10,000 Rand. Had planned to, or had allowed for a loss of about 3 times that amount. And again, manage risk, made sure that I know, okay, I will be able to get a winning trade within the next couple of days. So definitely be able to maximize the profits from those trades as well. I'll put up my whole week on Instagram for you guys. So far it's been a very roller coaster. I've lost a lot more trades than I've won, but my trades are all my wins are all about 4 or 5 times the size of my losses. So still up really healthy this month, about 5,000. So yeah, not too bad. Just wondering what broker are you using? I'm using Fusion and Global Prime and wanted to find lowest spread and fees possible. Thank you. I would suggest using IC Markets without a doubt. Raw spread account, you get amazing spreads, hardly any slippage, although some, I think it was Balas got slippage yesterday. I've had a really good experience with IC Markets, been with them for ages now, so I would certainly suggest them. Commission is not bad either with the raw spread accounts. So, and their withdrawals are really good. Doesn't take long at all, and their deposits are also instant deposits. They don't even take a percentage of what you deposit. So if you guys are still in this GJ trade, I would definitely, I would probably be out of it by now. So, or I am out of it, but if you guys are still in it holding, it's just at the moment it's just holding on to inevitable loss. I would think so. Maybe get out of that, accept the loss for the day, and either don't trade for the rest of the day or find a safer entry later. That was quite a risky entry. But again, guys, losses are just part of trading. So if anyone tells you otherwise, they're lying. 3 pip loss. Well done, Sharif. keeping it nice and small. So we have here trade 1. Let's see how many pips we ended up losing here. It's about a close at about 6.5 pip loss. How do you journal that? I would definitely just do a post-trade analysis of it. So basically put in your position where it was, mark in where you manage risk, and then you would obviously save it here. You could save your chart image on your PC. There's a couple of journaling websites, or otherwise what you can do is literally print it out. I don't know if you have a printer, but you can print it out and then put it in like an actual physical journal. And then that way you can look back, or you can just write it in your journal exactly what happened. Otherwise, there are a couple of websites which do journaling. You'll just have to search and try find one where you can literally store images. Otherwise, all you can do is store them on your file explorer, and then you can have a file which is losses, a file which is wins, and then a file which is break evens. And then obviously mark them with the exact date, the exact pair, and how much you lost. And then every time you take a loss, for me, I know the reason why this trade didn't work out. It's a counter trend trade, pretty low confirmation. It was by technicals and impulse. We didn't get a candle close below this level. We took the impulse trade entry based on the 1 hour and the 30-minute breaking below this support level. So already we had two confluences which were against us. It was an impulse entry, low confirmation, and it was counter trend, low confirmation. Actually, no confirmation. So it was a risky trade. Then obviously I know why we rejected this area. You can see we came to a level of previous resistance and we just rejected it straight away. And why is that? Because we're in the uptrending market. So that's what normally happens when you take a sell against the current trend. Or should I say against structure rather than against trend, because they are a bit different. But you can see if we mark the top of this, we tapped into this zone that we had marked out over here and rejected it straight away. And that is because our market structure at the moment, sorry, not trend, is bullish. High created by this point over here. We need to exceed this point to be bearish in market structure, because we haven't. All of this is still bullish in market structure, especially on the 30-minute time frame. Also, the 4-hour time frame is currently still bullish, and the daily time frame is still bullish. It's just the weekly time frame which is currently bearish. So we had a 3v1. Again, guys, why market structure is so important. But sometimes these moves will work out, so it's just, it literally comes down to how well we've managed to manage risk in this situation. So those sells are obviously invalid. What I'll be looking for now, guys, is still probably buys above this area. Sorry, on the 30-minute we need to keep in mind that resistance level. So buys above that area, and sells, I would wait for us now to form some support and get a candle close actually below the support rather than taking an impulse. Was definitely, you guys know I don't really like taking impulses, but for me it just seemed like it could have worked out, especially with that London open volume. If gold breaks 1838, will you take a sell? Let me check. 1838. I do think that if we get a candle close below 1838, it's very counter trend. Obviously we're in that bullish market structure. But I think if we don't respect the support level, there's a good chance that we can have our correction, which we do need to see because we've obviously made this massive bullish move. So I wouldn't just take a sell if we break below this level, but what I want to see is candle confirmations below this level, and then I'll take a sell. It is going to be counter trend though, or against market structure. Just seen your message now, Balas, in the Telegram, and also, yeah, well done on managing risk there as well. Seems like most of us who did take that GJ trade managed to keep our losses pretty small. Hope that we all managed at least half what we were expecting to lose. What we can expect as well now, guys, if we are going to continue with the bullish market structure, is now that we're forming supports on this at this level, it is reasonably choppy price action to left. You can see there's a lot of rejection wicks, but once we break the high of this candle, retest the high and possibly create new highs, I would just say be a little bit wary of how these candles are forming. They're not full strong candles, so you wouldn't exactly say that these are the cleanest candles. If you drop down to lower time frames, you're certainly going to find some chop in there, so that's what you're going to have over here. But I would say if you're basing your trade on the higher time frames, there could be some possibility or probability within that. Just be a little bit wary. And yeah, I think it's really important, guys, that if you did take the GJ trade today, that you do remember exactly why it went wrong, or you have an understanding of why it went wrong. I think that's going to be highly important. We are also looking at this forming some support on a previous level of resistance, so there is definitely possibility to continue bullish. Other than that, it's probably going to be ending within the next 5 minutes, guys. I don't see too much which could happen except for these possible buys to retest this high. Definitely be aware of that. We have candle close in about 15 minutes, 30-minute candle. I wouldn't say wait for a 15-minute candle close. I'd rather wait for a 30-minute candle close and then a possible retest of this level. If we're looking at gold, guys, very, very straightforward. I think we're going to possibly see some buys above 1843, but if we're going to create this pullback and look for a correction and try catch these sells on the correction, wait for this candle close below 1838.26, basically just below the support level, and then I can see us possibly having a bit of a correction and then maybe continuing that overall bullish structure. Based on the 4 hour, we also are ranging a little bit. Could you break down EJ? No problem. Let me see what we have on EJ here. Okay, we'll do top-down analysis on EJ. I'll start off on the weekly. Also looking pretty similar to a couple things. Okay. Weekly time frame, obviously we need to look for the structure, so our market structure is bearish at the moment. You can see last week we formed that weekly resistance. This week we wicked up and now have broken the low of last week, and we are still bearish in market structure on the weekly. We also have clean weekly candles to the left, so we could possibly be coming down within the next couple of weeks or couple of days down to this weekly support level. If we drop down to the daily time frame, our market structure on the daily would be bullish. Yeah, so we're bullish on the daily just because this was our low created by this area over here. That's our 2 or more candle pullback. Then this is our high because obviously we got our candle closed below this level. Now we look for the area which created this high, and you can see that's down here. So we're only going to be bearish below that level. So at the moment, weekly is bullish, weekly is bearish, daily is bullish. We're also currently rejecting a daily support level. So very similar to the situation we have on GJ. You can see if I mark the support level out, we've now tapped into that with yesterday's daily candle, although it did close bearish. So now what you could see happening is us forming some support on this level of daily support and later on coming down to break that, because you can see if we do break this daily support level, we have some very clean daily candles to the left here. So that's again going to be that weekly low, or that weekly, the bottom of the weekly clean candles, which I was talking about us possibly getting down to. But we need to see a break of this daily support level. Remember, guys, daily support levels are pretty strong levels. So just do be aware of that. Obviously we're going to drop down to low time frame. So remember, so far it's a 1v1. If we look on the 4 hour, we are sitting on a 4 hour level of support as well. So if we're going to look at a level to break on the 4 hour, to say shuffle this down a little bit, because if we break this level of 4 hour support, we got this level of 4 hour support to come down to. Then again, if we break that support, we got that level of support to come down to. So it is a very technical level that we're on right now. If we look at 4 hour resistance levels, we are also currently on a 4 hour resistance level. Our market structure on the 4 hour is currently bearish. You can see this is our low. Point which created the low is here, so that's your 2 more candle pullback. So it's pretty close, but we haven't managed to get a close above that level, so that is bearish, 2v1 bearish. Now we're going to drop down to the 1, or don't actually have to look at the 1 hour, we can look at the 30 minute. We're currently again on this resistance level on the 30 minutes, so probably why we're ranging a little bit. And then we're going to look left and look at our support which we had marked out. You can see if we break below this level, we obviously have the clean candle to left, but can we find a selling area earlier than that? I would say yep, below this current support. And why is that? Because if we break below this support level, we got clean candles to left. So I'd say these are going to be your more aggressive sells below this level. And then obviously if you're going to wait out a little bit, you can maybe find some below here, got clean candles, and then below here. So I'll be looking for sells on Euro JPY, and I would be looking for buys possibly above this level. It's going to be a little bit risky though. So I hope that helps out. Also your market structure, if this is your low point which created it, it's just flipped. No, it hasn't. So you are still bearish in market structure on the 30 minutes as well. So you have 3v1 bearish market structure. Do I have a plan on a GU sell? I haven't checked out GU today, but let me check it out now. I wouldn't be interested in selling GU until we get below this level. And I wouldn't be interested in buying GU until we get above maybe this level. I don't know how much range we have. At the moment we are ranging on GU, so I'd stay away from it. But if we get below this level, I'd say some sells make sense. We have 15 pips worth of range, and if we get above 1.363, buys would make sense. We also have about 14 pips worth of range. Just be a little bit cautious though. This isn't very good market conditions at all. We also have clean candles on the 1 hour and the 30 minute. So I'd say sells below that level. If we're going to look on the higher time frames, I would say that, yeah, if we form some 4 hour support and break that 4 hour support, we can definitely come down to this. And if we break this 4 hour support level, we can definitely come down to 1.358. But again, I don't trade GU, so just be a bit careful. Okay, we have GJ moving now after our initial issues. So it looks like we have a delayed move, which is a bit annoying, but is what it is at this stage. I'm not gonna hop into another trade now because due to FOMO or anything like that, I'm just gonna let it play out. If it makes a move now, it makes a move now. We unfortunately missed it. Right idea, but missed it. It's still, remember guys, counter trend. It's really nice to see how you manage your losses, bro. Thank you, I appreciate that, Pablo. Again guys, I think risk management definitely is one of the most important aspects of trading. They always do, or people always do say maximize profits, minimize losses, but maximizing profits comes with experience, guys. That's one thing that you don't have to worry about right now, but what can never go away and something you can never get rid of or must ever stop working on is minimizing losses. So minimizing losses comes with practice, maximizing profits comes with experience and confidence. When you maximize your profits, you're obviously having a good month, so you're willing to let a trade run a little bit longer, and you trust your long-term analysis. But something when it comes to losses, you can't just base that off of confidence. What you actually need to do is have technical levels where you're going to manage your losses. So I'd say managing losses comes with practice and, managing and minimizing losses with practice, maximizing profits comes with experience and confidence. I'll probably wait for, what's the time here? Yeah, let me wait until the candle close here, so then we can get a gauge of what's going to happen, and then I will call it a day there, I think, guys. Just for this session, I will be most probably trading New York. But again, guys, I will let everyone know on the Telegram whether there will be a stream or not for New York. Definitely tomorrow, 100% tomorrow there's going to be a New York stream, because I'm not too sure if there's going to be a London stream tomorrow. So there will be one stream, 1000%, but it might just be in New York. I do want to test out the volume and see how it's looking tomorrow. News-wise tomorrow, let me see if we have anything interesting coming up. We have some very low impact pound news, some retail sales. So this is actually going to be pretty good for London Open. So the one day that I'm trading London Open, there's some news. Or not trading London Open, there's some news. Other than that, nothing really affecting pound yen too much. Nothing affecting gold too much, except for some medium impact news at 6:30. Just be aware of those. And yeah, we got about 5 minutes left here. Just gonna see how this candle closes. What time is that EST? Let me check here. $6:30 EST. So that's gonna be seven hours before, I think. Something like that. Let me actually get the exact time. I don't know. This thing is I don't know what time conversion that was. You might have to just search what is 6:30 South African time in Eastern time. Yeah, guys, just rather wait for, even if we now get a 15-minute candle close below this 50-minute level of support, then there is going to be obviously a bit of added confirmation to this, but rather wait for this candle to close. Don't quite get tempted into taking these sells just yet. There's 4 minutes left till this candle close. It's going to be a 1 hour candle close as well. If we do close strong bearish, there is the potential and the capability for this to retest this 155.635 level, but it is going to be a little bit risky because now entries are probably going to come below this level. So that's going to be a lot lower than the original selling price. So it's just whether you're confident enough to, if you're going to take another position, well, there's certainly lower your risk. And then obviously if you're going to be confident enough to manage that trade. Also further sells below this level, so obviously is also the weekly low level that we have marked out here, guys. It's going to be quite tricky to make strong moves down, and the reason for that is obviously we have this daily support level which we're on, and also we don't have very clean price action to the left. You can see as we break, if we do break below our current support level which we have marked out, we are currently on a 1 hour level of support, and with a lot of rejection wicks in that level. So what we need to do ideally is break below this 155.314 level, and then we got the clean candles. That's also going to play into the higher time frames of trying to get through that daily support level, and also now that we've broken the daily low, by this point once we have the weekly low, then there's going to be a very good chance that we can continue bearish. Now we're coming down pretty nicely. Broken the previous 30-minute candle low, respecting highs. Just unfortunate, you know? Just unfortunate. based on the 1 hour time frame, I suppose looked all right, but these sort of things happen. This would have been me coming up to about 10 pips right now. Okay, well, based on how this candle's probably going to close, guys, I think that's going to be it for the stream today. Again, what I'm going to be looking for is some possible continuation sells, especially below this level. Obviously, we don't have the clean price action to the left, but what we are going to have at this level is a flip of structure. So we're going to be bearish below that level. Also, if we get a 4-hour candle close below that level, this is our current high, and this is the point which created the high. So we're going to be bearish below that level. That's going to give us our 3v1 bearish market structure. The only market structure that's going to maintain its bullish market structure for a very long time is the daily, because the low which created the high is so far away. But if we have the weekly, the 4-hour, and the 30-minute bearish market structure, it's going to make a lot more sense to take some sells. And obviously, we are still in this 4-hour range, so please be aware while we are in this range. We had that bullish fake out yesterday, came back into the range, retested the low, now we're back at the high of the range, could be coming back down to retest the low of the range, and so on. We could continue doing this for a little while until we either go up or down. So just be aware of that. Other than that, gold, again, looking for the pullback. Wait for it to get out of this range as well. All these things seem to be ranging, but on the 30-minute and the 1 hour, we have a gold range, and the 4-hour, to be honest. So wait for a break and close above 1843, or wait for a break and close below 1838. So it's going to be it should be quite easy to trade gold based on this. Remember, guys, the more that we consolidate, the stronger the impulse out of the one side or the other is going to be, most likely. So just wait for maybe a candle close. See you tomorrow, NY. Thanks. Yeah, thank you, Antonio. Thank you so much for being in the stream. Yeah, guys, so tomorrow is probably going to be a New York session stream as opposed to London. I definitely don't think I'll be trading London tomorrow morning, but New York is looking pretty likely. So if you aren't already, please do subscribe, turn on those post notifications. Also, leave a like if you haven't either, and check the description for all the links to join certain things. And yeah, I appreciate all the support, guys. Cheers, Nick. Thank you as well for being in the stream, and I'll check you guys tomorrow. Have a great rest of the day. Trade safely, manage risk, and yeah, just be careful, guys. Thank you. Thanks, Stanley, as well. Thank you.